Well, when it started, it was when I was between 11 and 12 years old. I was always connected to my guides since I was born. I was able to see them all the time at school, home, everywhere. And was this day that I went to eat something, to eat hamburgers with some friends, and suddenly two of them appear, like at McDonald's, but it wasn't McDonald's. So they appeared there, and they told me that in 7 days from that time, I would start to remember everything I've done before I was born, and that I will not be able to see them anymore, but I would be able to feel them. In order to survive to all my memories coming, I had to follow what they taught me when I was a kid. So they taught me a lot of things, so it was really useful when I started to remember. So in between 11 and 12 years old, I went to school. Next week, they gave us a paper, history, for ancient civilizations, like 3,000 years before BC. And when I saw the picture of the pyramid, I just had a headache, and all the images with emotional stuff came. Like, I saw myself in front of the Sphinx with the face of a lion. I was a woman, there was my husband there, and we were worried about something that I've listened in a reunion. So that all these adult things when I was 12 years old. So that's how it started, and every day was a different memory from my families, from everyone in the past. I was able to see them like that. Then it was like something really like a cloud with a human shape, normally without a face, just eyes and round head, with light. But mostly I listened to them here, like vibrating in the heart. When I was a kid, I was able to see them. Then I couldn't see them anymore. When I was 17, I saw them again. Then I stopped seeing, and then when I was 24, I saw them again. So it's like 4 periods that I can see them or just hear them. For me, it was never scary because I was born seeing them. For me, it was normal. For me, it was like a brother or an uncle that went away for a trip and then they went back. It was something like that. I was only scared of my darkness guide that sometimes used to come, and they were weird. So that would be scary at the first time, but then I wasn't scary anymore because I knew why they were there. But no, for me, they only changed their aspects according to my age, so I was more related to them. Like when I was a kid, they would be like tiny and sometimes with animal shapes, and they would play with me and they would like teaching me stuff, like in a kid language, and then they start to come like tall, like persons, not beings, small beings, and that's how I was related to them. So no, it was not scary, never. Well, it was weird, of course, at school to get related to the people because everyone was willing to do stuff that I don't wanted to do. Even though my guides and other beings that I was able to see, they would always tell me, you have to be like a human. So you have to play, you have to, they were teaching me that I needed to learn about emotions, that I had to be there, like if it was a trip to, I don't know, to the rainforest, and I was looking at monkeys in school. so I had to, I had these friends from other dimensions that really helped me to understand how society was and not to judge it. So it was difficult because a lot of people doesn't understand. But I was lucky because my family was agnostic, so they had no beliefs, they had no thoughts about this stuff, and the main, how do you say, the director of the school, she also believed in this stuff, and some teachers too. So they would help me a lot, even if the others didn't understand, and also my friends. So I was really lucky. I cannot say it was bad for me. Emotion. Yeah, it was like emotion, and it's like when you try to remember something that you have done or that happened to you. It's like the feeling, and then the images start to come. Mostly it was like that, and sometimes it was like a big headache and like a package of information, like doing like this, and it was like a, how do you say, this files that you have, the zip, you know, the WinRAR WinRAR files that you have in the computer, and suddenly it was like geometrically open, and there was images and many stuff, and my brain was trying to attach to all of that, and that's why it was more emotional than information. So I would say to my guys, why do I have to suffer this? And they said, because all the information in the universe is attached to energy, and the energy in your body is emotion. So the only way you can open those files is through emotion. The Akashic records is everywhere. They are the connection in between every electron, every atom. Everything is connected by that. It's not a place. I used to describe it like a library because it was easy to explain how it was, but actually it is like a network of vibration that goes and connects everything. And the words, the books are like spheres that similar to electrons that spin all the time. So you are the construction of the Akashic records. You are a file. So so you can open those files. So everyone can do it. But I used to describe it like a public library. You can take the books, but then you have to deliver it back. You cannot just do whatever with the book or break it, because you can do a mess with information. So you need to be really balanced to get into the Akashic records. I was not getting into the Akashic records. I just remember I worked there. I used it to describe my job there like in positive electron in a cable through internet. I was just doing that. That's my spirit. that was all, but it was amazing. Well, my mom was a very creative person, so she saw me like a very, very creative person. So a lot of imagination, a good mind to create stuff, to paint, to tell stories. So she would never tell me, don't talk about this, or whatever. When things start to be heavy, like I start to have problems at school, I start to see darkness, and I couldn't handle many emotions. I was crying for people that have died thousands of years ago. I felt responsible for countries. You know, it was like so many things that she started to worry about. But she would never say that I was crazy. She would always look for people to understand me, and she was always looking for people to help me to organize the information in my head, and not to say that this was not true. My grandmother, she just started to listen to me, and I began to explain all this stuff when I was 19 or 18. she always knew that I was weird, but good weird. So, but from that moment I explained her what was happening to me, she just started to ask me stuff, and she just said, "Oh, I'm thankful that your granddad is dead," because he was more like mental. So and the ones that my auntie was the one that it was most difficult to understand everything, that she thought I was crazy, but mostly all my family and friends were like, oh, tell me more. So that was good. Well, I guess that the most important I can talk about is what happened in the Vatican. Um, there's thousands, but I guess that one I received information that we had to turn the vibration of the biggest key in the world. I was in 2012 doing a trip around the world, seeding keys, copper keys in the world, so I could open the doors of energy for all my job after doing that. And when I arrived to Antarctica, I was in Antarctica on December 21st, 2012. And that was a whole other story, fun story. But when I was there, the information I received was, now you have to wait for the big lightning in February 2013. And after March 2013, the energy of the south would be in the north. And when the energy of the south is settled in the north, you would be able to open and to turn the biggest key in the world that would turn every key. And I had no idea what it was until we saw the lightning coming in February 2013 into the Vatican, and that lightning was the same day that the Pope quit, and the Argentinian Pope became the Pope. So from the south to the north. And the biggest key in the world is the Vatican, because the St. Peter's Cathedral was built by Bernini with the shape of a key, the key of heaven. So they would say you have to turn from north to south, the key, so in order to do it. And because the Pope was Argentinian, it was easier to get to him. So for me. So the good story about all that was that my guides told me that I had to go to Rome and sit in a specific spot of Rome to wait for a call. And I went there. So I sat there and I was waiting for a call. And I just put a picture in Instagram in 2014 here, waiting for the Pope's call. And it was like fun for me. But actually, in Scotland, there was a friend that was in a trip, a spiritual trip, and she was saying, "Oh, Matias is waiting for the call of the Pope," and there was this lady in the same bus that says, "I am a friend of the secretary of the Pope. Do you need the phone?" So somebody calls me there in that square, and it was the secretary of the Pope. So asking, "What do you want?" And I was like, I don't know. So I just told him, well, my guides told me to come to the Vatican to ask for permission to make a change of energy, and I cannot do it if you don't allow me. And so I went to the Vatican, and they allowed me to do this gathering in the Vatican a few weeks later. So we went like 500 people to the Vatican to do this switch of energy, and I knew that if it would work, the nature would show that it was possible. So during the whole day in Rome, June 14th in 2014, we were working with the energy of the Vatican, and suddenly this big storm appears just out of nothing, and it was news there because it was so many lightnings, and we were the only 500 people running in the streets with the lightnings and doing all this job of energy, and suddenly when the moment was to open the portal, this big lightning, exactly like the one in February 2013, goes to the Vatican, and everything starts to vibrate so hard that we all ran to the square, and we were there just switching the energy, and suddenly the sun comes with all these lightnings from behind the cupola of the Vatican, and 2 rainbows in the door of the Vatican opens, and suddenly everything is clear, and that's it. So it was like nature working with us during these hours, and because of that, I was invited by the secretary to give the Pope a message and to give it in his hands. And it was not about religion. It was because my guides told me, you cannot fight against the old system. You need to love the old system in order to transform it in love. Otherwise, it would be always fight, 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 fight. So you should not go against something that is ending. You should go and hug it so you could transform together. And that was the goal of that trip. And the earth and civilization were together working. So it was amazing how the weather showed the portal after we turned the key. Oh, like me yesterday. We're all on that. Well, the thing is that we are always awakening. So there's no way to escape the feeling of frustration or feeling of weirdness or feeling that you're getting crazy. Because in order to understand a bigger picture of how the universe works, you have to break your own mind. That's why you kind of need to become a little bit crazy to understand something bigger. I would say that don't take everything so seriously, because it doesn't matter what you see in the universe. It's just a perspective or a hologram. So nothing is really true. So don't take anything seriously. Not even what you remember in the past, other dimensions, other beings, darkness, light, anything. Anything really is real. It's just different perspectives. So when you're opening your mind, you're just like going of these layers in the onion that you're just trying to discover the core. So when you are trying to take the layers of every part of the onion to get to the core, you will cry a lot. Yeah, that's natural. So there's a lot of suffering involved, because it means that a part of you needs to die so other part can be born and understand itself. So that's why it's so hard, this process of awakening. But we always need to know that this is like die, born again. So I would say, don't take anything so seriously, and remember that we created all this to play. This is a game, so you have to learn how to play with it.